With the NASDAQ 100 falling 17% over the past month, Wall Street, the legacy markets, and the crypto markets are in a state of panic. Road Dog Crypto. And the reason for all this uncertainty is because of the United States inflation rate is going out of control, reaching the top of a trend line that has been going on since its existence. We have a peak here in the early 1900s, another peak here in the early 40s, another peak here in the 70s, and now here we are today with inflation peaking. But here's the good news. We are at a point of resistance on inflation. And what that means is that we have got a really great chance here to turn things around and bring inflation down. That's what the chart's saying. We're at that point of resistance for change. This gives me a lot more confidence in our future seeing this. Now, of course, if we break up past this point, that is not good. We don't want to see that. But in the whole history of the United States market that we have since the early 1900s, we've not crossed this trend line. We bounced back down. What the Fed is doing right now looks like it's going to work, and we'll see that over the next year. But we should start seeing this inflation rate coming down, and we should start seeing the markets respond positively to that. So if you're asking me if I'm worried about a big crash, it's a possibility. But judging by the history, the 100-year history we have of this trend line, the probabilities of it breaking above it are slim. However, if that does happen, we need to take a serious look. And now, with most major markets breaking a bottom trend line or flirting with breaking that bottom trend line, we've got to take a closer look over what's going on so we can position ourselves and get our strategy right in our head. And we're going to need to take a closer look to see what may be going on and how we can utilize that information to our advantage. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know that I'm overall bullish on Bitcoin. And you also know that I have a theory that I've been looking at as this being just one big, huge accumulation. And I say that because it was during these points at the lows when the institutions started coming in. So we have a base point for their entries. We have a baseline area. And at this area, if things were to go below where they got in, it wouldn't be at a very advantageous investment for them. And what this means that generally these areas should be our bottoms. Institutions are finally starting to come into Bitcoin as it gains adoption. Prices start soaring. Retail is FOMOing in. Retail gets scared up here, gets out. We're mostly institution money and long-term holders and whales in the scene now. We got another rise up. Retail's been out since about May. All this basically is manipulation to get prices up, take profits, drive prices down, reaccumulate. The banks, the big major banks that were saying that Bitcoin was rat poison, was going to zero, are wanting in, and they want in on the cheap. Historically, what have they done in the stock market to get on the cheap? They manipulate prices, they drive prices down, they scare investors out, they even scare other Wall Street investors out. Market has been very finicky in these areas since the big money, the Wall Street money has come in. Part of the Wyckoff theory is that there will be a spring that goes below these comfort zones. My theory is that we're headed toward 28.8. At some point, it'll be a quick dip down, and then we do a bump and run and start working on a new higher high once the institutions have got their favorable positions in. But if you ask me honestly, what I think, do I think that we're heading into a bear market where if we would take prices and break below and then go into some big, deep bear market like what we saw over here in this area? I'm not seeing that at the moment, but that is what the market is so afraid of. And there's no basis for it yet. We've not made a lower low. Until we make a lower low, we are still in an upward trend. That's the rules of the game. The low that we need to break is this one right here. The one that occurred on February 22nd when Bitcoin had a low of $34,322. If we break that price, that would create a new low. And that's when we need to be concerned about a downward trend. Right now, with Bitcoin, We have broken out of this trend line. A lot of people are seeing this as a bear flag. I'm not playing it that way. I'm not seeing it that way. And if I'm wrong, then I deserve to be called out on that. But it is too massive of a trend, in my opinion, to be that. It is simply an upward channel, which has a measured move if it breaks down to this area here around 30,000. That ties into my spring theory that we could jump down to 28 at some point. My guess was over the summer, and we were coming into the summer months. So it's a possibility we can drop down. So be prepared for that. But if you are a holder of Bitcoin, keep doing what you're doing. Keep buying in because we will take back off eventually. Now, getting back to our point of accumulation, let's take a look at this picture here where everybody is scared in crypto and in the regular markets. If you are trying to accumulate Bitcoin right now, and over a weekend where there's little liquidity and you can manipulate the price, isn't that a great time to pick it up? Scare people out since we are still in this very bearish pattern. Now, my personal opinion is that this is a bear trap. And of course, I can definitely be wrong. Maybe we'll continue down. But what is keeping me bullish is that we have not broken this overall trend line. Sure, we've broken through this pattern. We've even broken through the bottom of the wicks in that pattern. Is an excellent timing for a bear trap over the weekend where we can drop down here to around the low 35,000s and then spring back up on an upward trend. Now, do I think this is going to keep going up? No, we're going to start seeing some resistance here in the 40, 41, 42,000 area, but I don't think this is it. Or I don't think we're going to capitulate this weekend. I don't think we're going to capitulate this week in the market with the signs that I'm seeing. I'm seeing signs that we're getting ready to take a bounce, not a big, strong bounce. We're going to trade sideways for a long time. I predict that we'll trade sideways for most of the summer, just within this range between $30,000 and $50,000. But the main takeaway is to be cautious. Don't let the institutions trick you out of your Bitcoin. Keep holding on to that. I would say keep dollar costing average, whether you do it where you buy lows or whether you buy on time frames, buying by the weeks, every day, every week, every month, however you're doing it, keep doing that because this will turn around. Bitcoin is the superior money. It is the superior store of value. Any upcoming decreases that you see in the price most likely will be some type of market manipulation trying to drive prices down to accumulate more. Big money is smart enough to know not to run this into the ground because they need retail to come in for it to be a profitable venture for them. Retail has got to come in once the leg up starts. And then you'll be seeing all kinds of crazy news articles about how great Bitcoin is. And you'll be surprised to see that coming from JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs when they finally start promoting Bitcoin as a product that they want to share with the world. So, in a nutshell, if you're scared right now, just take a deep breath. It may be a nervous period, and that's fine. But I implore you to look over your position and consider carefully the future benefits of holding on to where you are. On chain data shows Bitcoin is being accumulated in massive amounts. There are the most massive amounts that I'm seeing every hour moved from wallet to exchange. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of Bitcoins just being recycled on this as they accumulate. Hold strong and hold that belief in Bitcoin because it is these trying times that you will prevail in the end, just like you saw so many other people prevailed that held strong, just like all the others who recognized the great opportunity we had back here and held strong. Those people are the new millionaires that we've been hearing about all year that knew to hold on and not capitulate. Until next time, my name is Lane, your crypto road dog, here to ride with you. Be blessed, be positive, and just remember, guys, you got this. Road Dog Crypto.